Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show, and it's time to get your portfolio queries checked. I have with me Hemant, CEO of Wise Invest. Hemant, good evening and welcome to the show. Just in case all the viewers are watching us, you can send across your questions on 865-797-4571. That's our WhatsApp number, and our email ID, themoneyshow@etnow.tv. Hemant, let's begin, and we will take Amit's question via email. And he has a portfolio made for himself. He is 38 years old, and monthly SIP is 1 lakh, started at the beginning of this year. Every year, he can also add up to almost 10%, stepping up his SIP. Portfolio has ICICI Value Discovery Fund, Parakparik Flexi Cap, Quant Active, Edelweiss Nifty Mid Cap 150 Momentum 50 Index, UTI Nifty 200 Momentum 30, Quant Absolute, and he wants to know if he can add a small cap in his portfolio, and he is looking at Quant, Nippon or Kotak small cap for almost 7 to 8 years, and he can add up an SIP of 15,000, and he also wants to understand if any thematic fund in his portfolio can be added. He's got a quantamental kind of homework done for himself. Okay, what would you recommend?
But I think there are a couple of important things about his portfolio. One, he's investing through SIP, which we all know that it's a smart way of investing in equity fund because you are following a disciplined approach. And second thing is, I think he's committed to also increase the SIP every year. Now that actually can make a substantial difference to the kind of corpus that you can create over the longer term. So I believe that in terms of strategy, I think is doing very well. If I look at the portfolio, I think there are a couple of changes required. My problem is that in the portfolio, there are a couple of smart beta funds. There are 2 momentum funds. There is absolute return fund. For someone who is investing in a very systematic manner over a longer period, having these kind of funds can be actually a problem because they behave differently in different market situations. And I think it becomes very, very difficult to make a decision as to when should you move out from which factor investing and where you should go and get into. So, my advice would be that, that those should be avoided. Instead of that, investing in a multi-cap fund like Kotak multi-cap fund or a large and mid-cap fund, which is like Motilal Oswal large and mid-cap fund, where the rules are clearly defined. The multi-cap fund, the fund manager has to have exposure in all the 3 segments to the tune of 25%. Similarly, in a large and mid-cap fund, the minimum investment has to be 35%, and then there is a flexibility of 30%. So I think those category of funds are better. Even in the mid-cap fund, I see a momentum fund there. My belief is that there are some mid-cap funds that have done better consistently, better than the index or even sometime these kind of smart beta funds. So I think that is change that I would want. Yes, investing in a small cap fund is a great idea, especially when you're investing for a longer period. He has listed 3 funds. Out of that, maybe he can consider investing in a Nippon small cap. Thematic fund, again, I'm not a big fan because they require different kind of monitoring. They require different kind of realignment in the portfolio, which I think becomes very difficult for a common investor to do.
All right, let's move on to the other question. We will take Shrikant's question. Again, that's a question via email, and he's got a portfolio made really well. He's planned it really well because he's focusing on his retirement goal. He's focusing on his child education also. And for both the goals, he has certain amount put up, also dedicated funds towards that goal. So I will not read out the question because you already have those details, Hemant, and for the viewers, they can see all the details flashing on the screen. So let's begin with the child education goal. The time horizon over here is almost 4.5 years, and lump sum amount is almost 25 lakhs that's put up in few set of funds.
I think both the goals, Kavita, are very important, the child education goal and also his own retirement. And I think he's done pretty well in terms of how he has defined the time horizon and the kind of investment that he has built over a period of time. So if I begin with his child education goal, he has a time horizon of 4.5 years and another 4 years for him to kind of pay that money. So broadly, if you see the last installment of money that has to go, this has around 7.5 years from here. So I think the portfolio composition is great. There are hybrid funds and multi-asset fund, I think, which is absolutely fine in terms of category, and even the funds, HDFC Balance Advantage, ICICI equity and debt, and the Quant multi-asset fund. I think all the 3 funds are fine. Because these are open-ended fund, there won't be an issue in terms of taking out money. As and when the money is required, the money can be taken out. The only thing, my advice would be that if the money is required, let's say 3 months, 4 months from now, start taking out money in a staggered manner for every semester that you need to pay money for. When I look at the retirement corpus again, I think the fund selection is very good. I think there are around 7 funds. Ideally, I would like maybe number of funds to be reduced to 5. But I think considering the fact that there is a potential for him to increase his SIP and also the kind of fund that he has chosen. There is a value investing, there is a different market segment investing. So I think considering that, I'm okay if he continues with all the 7 funds. So I think in terms of fund, no changes. Good thing, like I said right at the beginning, is that if he's willing to kind of invest or step up that investment every year, that can make a huge difference to the kind of corpus that he can create. So I think in terms of portfolio, both the portfolios, no need to make any changes.
Right. Perfect, perfect. I think that will be all. Thank you so much, Hemant, for being on the show and helping our viewers with their financial portfolio queries. And for the viewers, it's time to sign off, but I'm going to leave you with our WhatsApp number and email ID. Do send us your questions if you need any help from our experts on your financial goals or your financial planning. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.